What if someone was stupid enough to speedrun New Super Mario Bros. Wii in an any percent run with almost no experience, but whenever they died, they stopped and did the entire Presidential Physical Fitness Challenge from elementary school? Well, I sought to answer that question that no other human being in the planet has ever thought of before, and did something totally unique in the process. So to just quickly explain the challenge again, you must beat the entirety of New Super Mario Bros. Wii in an any percent run, but every death you must stop playing with the timer continuing to run and do the Presidential Physical Fitness Challenge. This whole thing has failed if either you cannot complete the Presidential Physical Fitness Challenge at a 6-year-old level, or if you decide to stop playing because of your overall time. Now I'm going to explain the Presidential Physical Fitness Challenge for those who are either too young to have done it in gym class, or are not from the United States, and then a little bit about speedrunning the game. And for those of you who know about either or both of those things, here are some timestamps I would skip to. The Presidential Physical Fitness Challenge was created a long time ago to test American children in gym class and give them an award straight from the president. Now the test is completely obsolete because after he had to send me an award so many times, Obama gave up, or something like that. In all seriousness though, the majority of kids now instead only do things like the pacer test, but that's an entirely different thing, potentially for another challenge down the road. This test consists of a number of interchangeable exercises seen here in this table. No matter what, you need to do curl-ups, a shuttle run, a flexibility test, run a certain distance, and do either pull-ups or push-ups. For this specific challenge, I'm going to be going off the numbers for a 6-year-old child because I think doing this quite a few times in a row will be kind of tough. Also, the sit and reach flexibility test can be eliminated because I don't think it's possible to become less flexible as the challenge goes on. In an any percent run of New Super Mario Bros. Wii, you're going to be playing through 13 levels with 2 world skipping cannons, meaning you play through the first quarter of World 1, a little bit over the first half of World 5, and 5 levels in the final world, World 8. The world record for this game is set at 22 minutes and 7 seconds by CAD225, but as a complete amateur, I would say times are likely to be anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how familiar you are with the game. My goal here was to get this run under an hour. As for each individual level, those will be explained during the course of this video. On to strategies for this specific challenge. As I mentioned previously, the presidential test can be mixed and matched, something gym teachers just happened to leave out when we did it, but never mind. So I'm going to be using that to my advantage. Technically, if you're fast enough, you only have to run a quarter mile, which would save a ton of time in comparison to doing a regular one. They only give you under 2 minutes though, even for a 6-year-old, which might be pretty tough for someone as unathletic as me after doing it a few times in a row. And I'll probably have to switch to a half mile later on. As for the other categories, I'll be doing 33 curl-ups, 9 push-ups, and the shuttle run. My plan is to knock out the curl-ups, push-ups, and shuttle run quickly, and then focus on the distance option afterwards. Also, I'll be doing this challenge in my basement, so I measured out everything, found that one lap around my basement is 116 feet. So I'd have to run around my basement 45 and a half times for 1 mile, or 11 and a third times for a quarter mile. 11 times around in 1 minute and 55 seconds is actually kinda scary. Anyways, I've explained long enough, so let's actually jump into my challenge attempt. The run started off with a bang. Or not, I'm standing kinda awkwardly in my basement here. But World 1 has 3 easy levels, the first of which being where you get the propeller suit, the second underground, and the third a Yoshi level with a hidden exit. I was able to quickly finish the first level without complications, get through the second level without losing the propeller, and then have a complete botch in the third. Somehow I was way too invested in explaining what I'd have to do to the camera in real life that I just completely waltzed past the question block that has Yoshi in it, ran into a Goomba, and then immediately into a Koopa as well. Why didn't I get Yoshi? Am I stupid? Thankfully I pulled it back together after this, and it was smooth sailing to the hidden exit. Now in World 5, things would start to get difficult for me, beginning with 5-1. Here I got an ice flower, worked my way through the piranha plant filled level, getting a star in the mystery box, and excruciatingly taking my time on this spinning wheel. So much for speedrun, right? Before I finally finished the level. After 5-1 you have to fight this piranha plant, which wasn't too bad for me since I had the ice flower. Then you must make a choice. Wiggler level or poison level. I went with 5-2, the Wiggler level, because I find it safer to deal with for me than those weird vine guys in 5-3. However, I failed to recognize how dangerous the bats were going to be for me, as although I did beat the level, I barely escaped without any power-ups. The World 5 tower is completely vertical, so without the propeller cap, I simply took my time going up, getting an ice flower in the process, and slowly making my way to Iggy Koopa. who got clobbered. Next up was 5-4, where you ride on a raft that cannot have 5 enemies or coins on it or it will stop. Speedrunners of this game will keep a propeller cap all the way until now and are able to pull off some fancy flying crazy maneuvers here through sheer skill, but personally, I didn't feel like doing the fitness test like 8 times in a row attempting that. Thankfully, there's a fire flower block hidden in the first room, which helped me clear the enemies on the raft until the end, where this happened.
Hey, my fire flower.
Making it out, it was onto the ghost house, where I babbled like an idiot, repeating where to go, and felt blind because I couldn't see almost anything with my sunglasses on. Miraculously, I made it to the hidden exit without even getting hit, and now all that was left was World 8. 8-1 can be a tough level because you have to move quickly and avoid a vape cloud that kills you while obstacles take time to let you pass. Oh, and meteors are falling on your head. This level was filled with close calls for me. By the end, I had no power-ups, but I had stayed alive, baby. 8-2 is a relatively easy level for the final world, or at least that's what I thought before repeatedly getting hit. I was able to make it to the hidden exit of the level without any power-ups again, and make it to the flagpole. The level we replayed about 452 times as kids on the free play screen, 8-7, or as I called it, the Dragon Coaster level. These coasters are actually called spine coasters, so I wasn't too far off as a kid. Since I had played this level an incalculable amount of times, I got through it no problemo. It even gave me a fire flower. Before Bowser's Castle, you have to face Bowser Jr. on his airship, which is what I did next. This level can be a little tricky if you don't know what to look for, as I even rushed things and got hit twice. At the end, I ground pounded to get an ice flower and got to Bowser Jr. Here I like having the ice flower because it makes you feel like you can get rid of fires easy.
Bruh.
I promise I didn't mean to flap like a fish there, it was my Wiimote. Anyways, this is what happened at the end.
Yes, bro.
A little close there, but I had made it. It's time for the final level and battle. I thought this would be smooth sailing to the battle, but then right at the beginning, yep, that's a presidential fitness test. I actually had made it pretty far, but now I had to start it up. So quickly, I did my 9 push-ups and 33 curl-ups, which were pretty odd doing the push-ups in the suit, but at least the curl-ups were somewhat normal. I did both of these within the allotted time and moved on to the shuttle run, which was a bad idea with socks on. I still did make it, and took my socks off for the planned quarter mile. Do you want to see what running around a 30 by 28 foot track looks like 11.5 times? Here you go. This is actually much harder than I thought, and I could not see any 6-year-olds being able to do this. I only finished with about 25 seconds to spare, and yeah, I did have to run around a lot of corners, but that still would be pretty tough for a young age. In total, this whole debacle took me a little under 7 minutes, and actually took a lot out of me. Anyways, after this I was able to make it all the way to the boss fight without any issues. My encounter with normal Bowser also went my way, and then the biggest plot twist of my elementary school years happened before the true fight. Here you must have Bowser make you a path before getting a propeller suit and going through many platforms to save Peach. I made it all the way to the last section of the boss fight before this happened.
Damn.
Yet another test, just about a couple minutes after the first. It was back to 9 push-ups, 33 curl-ups, a shuttle run,
Boom.
and then again a quarter mile. This time I was already a little tired because I was doing this test at 2 a.m., long story, and I figured I would run out of time and need to do a higher distance, wasting more time, but I was able to finish it. And forgot a lap.
Wait, one more.
But just in the nick of time, I made it back with that last lap. I had done it again in about 6 minutes and 30 seconds before promptly laying down on the couch and nearly going into cardiac arrest. If there's ever been a time I felt like Paul Blart, it's this. Then it was back to Bowser, where I of course ran into a fireball before making it back to the propeller suit section of the fight. There, I made my way nearly all the way through before this happened.
No way. That's gonna be deadly. Come on. No way. That had my heart going.
I had done it. The run was over, and I had completed it in less than an hour. I almost died there twice at the end, but if I did, I would have gone over an hour. This was a tough challenge for me, but it was also pretty fun. If anyone else would like to attempt this challenge, please feel free to. Please send it to me. I'd like to support you in any way that I can. And if you need any more information, please comment below, and I'll be sure to give you whatever information you need. I'm going to change one thing about this whole challenge though, which is that you must do the presidential fitness test at least once during the challenge. That way more average players can at least somewhat stand up to those who have no deaths, and the purpose of the challenge is still there. I would love to revisit this sometime in the future, and I hope to see you there as well. Before I end the video, I want to thank the members of the New Super Mario Bros. Wii speedrunning community, because they were nothing but helpful to me when I asked questions about this challenge or the game. Also, if this topic interests you, please look into these channels for some actual crazy gameplay and advice instead of me. I'd highly recommend it, and I'm watching along with you. With that, thanks so much for watching, and take care.